Hey guys, this is Primeval bringing you the post-game wrap-up to my first multi-session game. This was a Thursday night multi-session game that was started on February 14th, 2013. We play from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until about 10 p.m. Eastern, and then we resume the game the following Thursday. We pick up from the save and keep playing until the game is complete in these 2-hour chunks. So if you're interested in playing with me in this sort of format, I think our next multi-session game will be on a Thursday in March. I think that's the 21st. So if you're interested in playing in my next Thursday night multi-session, you can join my Steam group, Primeval Civ. I'll have the link in the description box below. Or you can email me at primeval.civ@gmail.com. So we're just going to go over some of these score charts while no, I can't multitask like that. We'll just go over the score charts, and then if I have something else to say, we'll cover that. I think we'll actually go and start with the map. We, on our first multi-session game, we only had 5 players. So rather than the usual 6, we're only doing 5 here. Carthage and the Swedes started off with a little more space. This was an interesting looking Pangaea, as there was this very tight restriction, so it sort of looked like 2 continents. The Mayans, the Japanese, and ourselves started pretty close together. We had a lot of nice spots we wanted to settle. There was that Petra city, another city by a mountain, and there was a whole bunch of unique luxuries in between ourselves and the Mayans. So as we started to expand, we were disappointed to see that the Mayans had beaten us to a nice city spot here, although they settled on flat land rather than on a hill. So that city had a little bit less combat strength than it could have had, and as a result, we were able to go and capture that city and then raise it. And so part of the reason we were so aggressive with the Mayans here is that they had a really nice capital city location, and they were able to churn out a lot of world wonders. So had we allowed them to expand aggressively towards us, as well as build their fantastic capital city, they would have been much stronger than they already were. So as you saw during the game, they did go a little too much towards trying to get their tech up rather than raising a good defensive army. Now, the Japanese were having a lot of trouble with barbarians, and so one important thing to note, a difference between multiplayer and single player, is that in multiplayer, the barbarians that spawn can move this very same turn that they spawn, and so if you're not used to this, you can usually have the barbarians sneak up and grab your workers before you realize. Another big difference between single player and multiplayer is that your neighbors are quite likely to steal your workers or your settlers if they're wandering around unprotected. Whereas the AI, I've never seen it declare a war in the first few turns to steal one of your workers or one of your settlers. So that's something to be aware of if you're making the switch from single player to multiplayer. So anyways, around here we are continuing our aggression on the Mayans. We raised one of their expansion cities to make space for ourselves. We captured another city to head towards their capital. But they were quite well defended there. They also had 2 mountains which blocked off mode of attack, and I'm not sure what the timing was, but they eventually got the Great Wall. So anyways, concurrent with us sieging the Mayan capital, the Japanese declared war on us and made some moves towards our Petra city. Now, at the time, our Petra was a good 7 or 8 turns from completion, and so we really didn't want to lose that, because that Petra would be very powerful if we could finish it. They also made some moves at our city here, but it was well defended by a mountain range. So, as we started bringing some troops around to defend against the Japanese, we were happy to make peace with the Mayans. In fact, we got a good 49 gold out of them for that peace deal. Anyways, the Japanese, if they had a faster setup and were able to actually move their spearmen and capture our Petra city here, which was actually at 0 health at the time, would have ruined a lot of things for us. We would have lost that city. By the end, that city turned out to be a production powerhouse because we actually did finish the Petra. But anyways, we ended up killing that spearman before he got a chance to capture our city. Excuse me. Anyways, after this, we had a very large army, and we went and expanded our empire by capturing the Japanese. After this, we teched up towards artillery and brought our army over to defeat the Mayans. Now, during this whole time, Carthage was free to tech up and settle some very nice and very large cities. And so for a little while, at least before I captured the Mayan capital, it looked like I was going to have a lot of trouble with Carthage, because waging all those wars set us back a little bit in terms of technology and infrastructure. But once we captured the Mayan capital, all those wonders gave us a nice boost, and then we were neck and neck with Carthage in terms of technology. And then by judicious expenditure of great scientists, we got to nuclear missiles and uranium, the Manhattan Project, etc., way before Carthage could. And as well, since Carthage was beating up on the Swedes gave us a bunch of gold, and that extra gold allowed us to purchase a nuclear missile as soon as we finished the Manhattan Project. With that nuclear missile, we bombed their capital, and that killed a good, I think, 75% of their population there, and that crushed a lot of their production and their science per turn. So after that, that was probably fairly demoralizing for Carthage, and we continued to expand, drop nukes, and eventually capture the last remaining capital, giving us a diplomatic victory. So we'll just go over some of the important graphs here. Let's take a look at gold per turn. So we were doing pretty well there. For a little while, Carthage was ahead of us, but once we captured the Mayan capital, we shot way up there. So the Mayans had the Machu Picchu, and since we had a very large road network and a lot of trade routes, that really helped us out in terms of gold per turn. As we started to get more cities and a few more city-state allies, our happiness started to go up. But we also started annexing cities or capturing new cities, and our population increased. So we didn't have too much excess happiness. Military might-wise, for a good period of time, Carthage was number one, but they were spending a lot of that military on the Swedes, and some of their military was just sitting at their border cities. So they weren't able to capitalize on their military might lead as much as they might have needed to if they were going to take the game from us. As far as number of cities go, we were leading quite handily on that as we started to absorb our neighbors. Number of known techs. So for a good half of the game, Carthage was ahead of us on this, but once we started to expend our great scientists and get our research labs online, we started to exceed them. Policy-wise, the Mayans were on a very small number of cities, and they also had a lot more culture per turn from all of the world wonders, so they were leading there. Likewise with the Swedes, with their smaller number of cities. Now, production per turn. Here, Carthage was leading for a while until we got the whole Mayan situation under control, and then we started shooting way above them. Here, this massive drop is when we dropped a few nukes on them. So you can see how much nuclear weapons can hurt your production as well as your science per turn. So they would have continued growing or increasing their science per turn, but we dropped them and they started to flatten out here. Meanwhile, our science per turn skyrocketed. As far as gold reserves go, this is the major cash infusion from the Swedes, so I still feel kind of bad about that, but in a free-for-all, sometimes when you're about to die or you've been facing a lot of aggression from your neighbor, you just want to help out whoever can get some revenge for you. So anyways, we got a huge cash infusion, and then we spent that cash on some nuclear missiles. And finally, let's go and take a look at unit maintenance. Carthage spent a lot on unit maintenance while they had their army spike up, but unfortunately for them, they weren't able to make anything happen with that army. But then, of course, we saved them a bunch of maintenance when we, with our second nuclear missile, took out a lot of their army. So that's it for going over the graphs. If there's a particular graph that I didn't cover and you really want to see, just let me know in the comments. And so again, if you want to play in one of these multi-session games, go and join my Steam group or send me an email. I'll put the links and addresses in the description box. I also have a Saturday multi-session game going. That one's not complete yet, but if you're interested in enjoying a Saturday afternoon, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, although I guess now we're in daylight savings time. You'll have to check any of your world clock time converters or whatever if you're not in the Eastern Standard / daylight saving time zone. Anyways, I think this is going on for a little long, but I did want to say that if you do want to join my Thursday multi-session game, with our Saturday game, we were using the Steam voice chat, and I think that made the game and the commentary a little more interesting when people were asking questions and either bemoaning their situation or doing just general having some voice chat and interaction with the other players was nice. So if you want to join the Thursday game, doing some voice chat is an option, and I think would actually make for a better video, so that would be preferable. We didn't do the voice chat this game, but I'll post the Saturday game once that's done. Alright, so I guess that's it. My Thursday night games, I usually don't have as much to say because I'm trying to remember what's happened in the game, and I'm also a little more tired Thursday night. But I hope the game was still enjoyable and the commentary was still alright. Anyways, that's it for this little spiel and score screen. This is Primeval, signing off.